Good morning. It's Ricky Patten here from DataBasics, and we're ready to start our morning's webinar on the 10 most loved features of Cumulus Web Client. Now then, some people are still logging in as we go along. We've got quite a few people along here this morning. I expect we'll probably be reaching 20 odd. And people drop in and drop out, during the presentation, which is fine. There will be a copy of the presentation. I do have the record button on, going out to everybody that both registered and attended the webinar, and for any of those people that couldn't make it this morning. Now then, just a few little notices here. Now then, I will try to run this webinar and wrap it up within about 40 minutes. We've got 10 features to go through. That's a couple of minutes of features, a bit of chat around that. Some of the features are a bit longer, takes longer to show, some are shorter. But we should be finished in about 40 minutes, which will be great. Now then, during that time, please type in questions. You can see that in the GoToWebinar panel over here. So I can type in a question such as, all right, okay. All right, so I've just sent out a message to everybody asking how the weather is where you are. So you should be able to send through questions. Now then, do please ask the questions as we go through the webinar. I may not answer them straight away. I do try to keep an eye on the question panel as we go. If it is something that I can answer quickly during the webinar, I will do so. I will try to round up any questions that I haven't answered at the end of the presentation as well. Okay, now then, you will also see in your panel a handout, which is a PowerPoint presentation of the most loved features. Just on that point, now then, this is, and I'll start the presentation now, and the introduction I'd planned to the presentation was talking about how we'd come up with these most loved features of Cumulus Web Client, and the research that we'd done that led to that. And what I'd like to direct you to first, and you should be all seeing my screen. Now then, you will, if you cannot see my screen or having any trouble, raise your hand. I don't know if I can fix anything straight away. GoToWebinar is pretty reliable. If you are having trouble, my best advice is to quickly log out and log back in. Now, I've just gone to our blog here, the blog.databasics.com.au, and you will see that the most loved Cumulus Web Client features is here on the first page. It was work that Ontra and I did together. What we decided is, with the rollout of Web Client and a lot of people getting very interested in the solution, we would start off by running an internal survey, which we did within DataBasics, of what we thought were the most loved features of the solution. We then passed that around to the Canto community, all of the international members of Canto and all of the different partners. And then we put together this blog post. And this blog post runs a SlideShare presentation. I will be running it this size, which I know is a little bit small on your screen. You can run the view full screen version of it here, but that does take up all of the screen, and for the purposes of the GoToWebinar, that's not such a great idea. And you will find, as you go through the webinar, right at the end over here, we've got resources, and then on the last page you will see that you can go and click on this vote button here, and you go to a SurveyMonkey form that we've got on the most loved features of Web Client, and you can go in there and you can vote on what is your most loved feature. And you can see how everybody else has responded as well. So that's a lot of fun, and how you can follow up this presentation. Now then, I am going to start off with feature number 1, the MetaData Prefiller. Now, the presentation is mainly running within my browser. I will be jumping between our blog. I've got my Gmail screen open here, and I'll show some of the feedback you get via email notifications. And over here, we've got Cumulus Web Client running. Okay then, the first feature is looking at the metadata prefiller. Okay, and so within the standard web client interface, at any time you can go to the upload button. Now, web client is fully drag and drop. Most people would drag files from their desktop or from a file server or whatever onto the upload button. For the purposes of showing the webinar, I'm going to upload them by clicking on this button over here. I've got 4 nice files over there. I can choose them. And here we go for our first feature, and this is the metadata prefiller. So first thing here, and this form it's fully configurable. You can have whichever fields that you like to be shown in the prefiller. Some can be mandatory. I'm just going to whip around a couple of these fields here. So these photos were taken around about April the 21st. We can add some keywords here, such as land and also holiday. Right now, you notice that when I was adding those keywords, I'll just enter the holiday one. It is showing us a prompt. Now then, in our version here, how we've got this configured, you can create your own new keyword. That can be turned off to enforce people to use keywords from a predefined vocabulary. We can go over to our containers here. I'm going to put this into new uploads. That can be automated as well. Okay, and so there's a description in there, copyright notice. I'll just put our copyright notice in there. Okay. And we can choose an expiry date this way. Now, obviously, I've just filled in this data as quickly as possible there, just to show you the main thing that we're showing here is the metadata prefiller that allows for any user when they upload content into Cumulus Web Client, whether that be a single asset or a batch upload, to add a range of metadata stamped onto that upload that will be applied to all of those files in one go. Okay, and so you can see the upload running over there. And if we jump across into our uploads, we'll be doing this quite a bit during the presentation. We'll be seeing those 4 files coming over as we speak. Okay, there we go. Upload complete, and you can see that that we've got the copyright notice showing on all of those 4 files from the metadata prefiller. Lovely. Okay. Right. Now I'll explain other things than just the most loved features. So I just click over here on the logo in the top left-hand corner, which can of course be configured to your particular needs. That will take me back to the dashboard, and whilst I've got my cursor there, you can hopefully see in the hover over that we are running the most recent version of 9.2.4. For those people that have read about Cumulus 10, this is the same version of Web Client that will be released in the initial releases of Cumulus 10. The main difference is Cumulus 10 is in the search and retrieve web interface. Okay, so that's the first feature there. Next one, asset usage history. Now then, asset usage history would perhaps be one of my most loved features. And from my side of the fence, I'm the person that is often presenting the product to users. And so my love features are those that answer people's questions best. So you can see here for any asset, we can have this whole trail of information that shows the usage of this asset. You can see it's in a rough report form here. Anytime we can just click on the little triangle on the left side and we can see complete details here. We can see more over here. So the file's been downloaded quite frequently. You can see that it's received quite a few comments. We can have multiple pages here as we have with this asset. And this is the asset usage history. And a few other files I've noticed that have got some good asset usage history in them. Okay, and this one here. Again, so you see another one with asset usage history. And you can see that this is true for all content that's going to be uploaded into Cumulus. We can keep this asset usage history. I think you'd have to ask the technical guys. It's on by default. You can choose exactly which actions will be logged into this trail here. And of course, anybody that's interested in more extensive reporting, the analysis and reporting module uses that asset usage history to create all of the reports that it works with. I'm just looking at a question here, came in from Chris. He just wanted to know to do the upload images. Yes, now this is a point to take into account. Cumulus Web Client is the web portal for content management. It is for people to be uploading content, managing existing content, and you'll see a lot of the features are all about that. And yes, when somebody is using Web Client, they do take up one of the concurrent user licenses on the server because they are accessing the server in read-write mode. People accessing sites, or as it will be called in Cumulus 10, portals, which is the search and retrieve web interface, their usage is unlimited usage. It does not take up a Cumulus client license, but they can't modify the content. And that's been the core of how Canto provide the different web interfaces for many years, and it fits in with most people's usage, which is a very good thing. So I just answered that question there quickly. Okay then, so that's feature number 1 and 2. Moving on to the next one, built-in workflow. So this is an area that's been high on the list of people's requests for years. It was implemented at the beginning of 2015, and I believe Canto has done a very good job for this. Now then, from my portal dashboard interface here, I'm just going to jump over into our uploads, and I'm going to grab those 4 assets that I just uploaded here. And you can see that on the right hand side in the toolbox, you can start a workflow. Now then, I am using, just to let you know, I'm using the demo server. So if you do want to come and have a look at this yourself later on, just let me or customer care know, which is support@databasics.com.au, and we can sign you up for a account onto the demo system. Now, so when we set up this demo system, and I need to sort of explain this, we are really trying to create a demo. It is an attempt at being something that will ring a bell for most people looking at deploying the solution really in their environment. But this workflow sort of thing, now for start with a workflow, typically a workflow involves collaboration between different people. For somebody using a demo system who may be the only person from their group with the login testing out the system, we can't really do that. So the workflow that we've created here, and this is just one, you can of course have lots of different workflows, is sort of really just like a ping pong match here. It allows me to choose somebody that I want to have this approval go to. I'm choosing myself because I'm going to show you what happens next, and I'd have to log out and then log back in, and that's just too time consuming for me to do. You can see up here on the notifications that it's telling me that happened okay. So our point here with these workflows, once we've gone in and started a workflow with some assets using that toolbar, we can then come over to our workflow menu item on the left hand side. You can see we've only got one approval workflow in this solution. You could have lots of different workflows. They don't need to be approvals. This is just our example. So I'm going to go over and have a look at my approval workflow palette. And you can see we've got different categorizations up here. So awaiting review is where we're going to see those 4 images from the Great Ocean Road. And over here on our toolbar, we can change the status. I can approve them, I can put in more information, or I can nominate them as not being approved. I'm going to approve these ones here. And again, in a real live situation, after something's been approved, it may go to a different team member. This, of course, could be automated in the workflow. It doesn't need to be something that the user types in. I'm basically playing ping pong with myself just so I can show you what this workflow process works. And now we can see under our approved workflow, I've got those 4 assets there. So yes, feature number 3 from Most Loved Features is the built-in workflows. And we're doing a lot of workflow development for our customers these days. If you're somebody who's just got the solution or just about to get Cumulus, you'll find that we'll be using this to do some simple things or more complex things. It's a scripting interface. We can get quite complex in this area. But say if you've been using one of the older versions of Cumulus, this may be one of the most compelling reasons why you'd like to go up to the new Cumulus 9 product range. Okay then, built-in workflows, feature number 3. Let's move on to feature number 4, subscribe to a file. Now then, this sounds really simple. It is a real simple, easy one to show, but it is so important for many people. So I'm just going to grab this file here, this cheetah image. Maybe this image means something to me. Maybe, I'm a person that needs to keep track of this image because I'm the person who created the image and I need to know if it's been changed and be notified. So you can do that just up here. See this subscribe button? I can just click on that, and now any changes that occur to that image will be emailed. I'll be notified about it. Now, just to show you what these notifications could look like, I've just jumped over into Gmail. I actually normally use another type of email application, but I just using Gmail to keep it all within the browser for the purposes of the presentation. And you can see here I've got a range of different email notifications. We are using a base template here. They can all be customized, but you can see here I subscribed to this yesterday, so you can see it's a subscription, and I did some modifications and I got notified straight away. If you open up that email, you can click on a link that takes you straight back into Web Client that will show you the file. But it is a real simple method for somebody to keep track of different images that have some sort of significance to them in particular. So here's another example. I'm currently subscribed to that one. I could choose to unscribe it, and these are some of the options that you get to configure within the Web Client configurator, the GUI that you use to set up Web Client in the first place. Alrighty, okay then. Moving on to our next most popular feature, bookmarks and tabs. Okay, now this is really just checking our messages and questions. Yeah, everybody seems to be happy. Now then, this is really showing how Web Client is fully integrated into whatever browser you're using. So what I'm going to do to demonstrate this, I'm just going to open up some new tabs here, and I can just go to my bookmarks, and over here I've got a bookmark. This is just purely, I went to the information screen for this asset. I dragged the URL from up here down into my bookmarks area. It's bookmarked it, so I can now go to this file anytime. And my little usage of this file, it gives us an introduction to the usage of copyright for our organization. So it's something that I want to be able to refer to at any time. Very simple process there. Right, another example I've got over here, maybe more relevant to your usage is maybe the company logo. So I want to have the company logo so I can download it. It's an asset that I commonly use. I don't want to have to recreate the share. I just want to put the link into a bookmark and be able to go back to there at any time. And now the next point, because we said over here with this feature mark, it's bookmarks and tabs. So I've got my main Cumulus window open there, which I can keep on using. I could go back to my uploads, for example. I've got a tab opened with this asset there that I went to with a bookmark, or I could in fact be going back to a new login into a web client over here. And I could be opening up another session. Maybe I want to be working in my workflow tab for my approvals here. So I could be doing something in my awaiting review ones here. And at the same time, I could have another tab open over here, and I could be working independently doing something else in a web client. So this is really showing integration into the browser, and it shows you can have multiple tabs, you can have different windows open, and all of this stuff will work that you're used to using your web browser for. Okay, and I'll just quickly close those windows before I confuse myself. Back to our presentation. Okay, then next feature, manage collections. Now then, another lovely feature here, one that was being demanded, and it was one of the requests that I've often been hounding Canto about for the last few years, is this ability to manage collections. So I need to first explain to you what collections are. So I've just gone to collections tab on the left hand side here, and it shows you that we've got 4 different types of collections. In the simplest possible way of explaining them, I'm going to start from the bottom and work up. A collection is a bunch of files that you've earmarked for some purposes. So for example, these garden images, it's a private collection. See up here, private, meaning that it's just for me. And it's 5 assets that I've grouped together and I want to use for some purpose. You can see a little bit of information up here. They're for internal publications, maybe a weekly newsletter, maybe I've got to do the weekly newsletter, and I've just grabbed those files yesterday so I can come back to them today and do the weekly newsletter. Maybe I want to do something like select all of these and then share them out. They're files that I find people asking for all the time, so I've just put a personal collection together so I can just quickly go and share them out, or I could add them to the basket. So it's just a personal collection or grouping of files. So that sort of explains what a collection is. It's a group of files, and I've shown you the simplest version of that, a private collection, which is just a group of files for my usage. Moving up one level to shared collections. So shared collections are available for other users of web clients. So this shows 3 assets in this collection. And we can see in the information that when I created this shared collection, I restricted it to 3 people being able to access it, myself, John, and Linda. And you can, when you create a shared collection, allow any of the web client users to access it. And it's really about making this content commonly available. So maybe had the case of the correct company logo, and you'd probably have the logo in a few different formats and orientation, and you want to set it up as a standard collection that anybody can come into with web client, or they can access these collections with sites or the portals product. And it's just there. They don't have to go and search. It's just really simple, handing people content on a plate. So it's a bunch of files that you've shared to other users of web client, and that's important to note. So this shared collection are for people that have got an account onto the Cumulus server. Typically, that means they're going to be within your organization. They could be an external user. You could have some external collaborators, such as an agency, set up as users of your solution. That's really up to you. And as said, when you create a shared collection, you can nominate who can access them. Now then, an upload collection link. So upload collection links are created over here. I think there's a few different ways of creating them. I'm going to go here to create this one, and I'm going to show you the creation process because it's probably the simplest way of explaining what an upload collection link is. So the creation process gets me to fill in a form. So I give this upload collection a name. I address it to some people via email. I provide a subject and text because obviously they're going to get an email. An embargo date. So this is the date that it will be released on, whether that's today or it could be in the future. Expiration date, how long it's available for, whether somebody needs a password, and what the users can do when they log in and use this. Okay, so to show you what one of these looks like, I've jumped back to Gmail here, and let's have a look at the upload logo one here. Okay, and so this is an example of what the email could look like. As said, this is just really rough. It's in Gmail here, and I just click on the link. It's going to open me up a tab. So this is typically going to be very likely somebody external from the organization, because you've just needed to supply an email address or only. They don't need to be an existing registered user of Cumulus, so it could be somebody from an external agency, or it could be somebody else within your company. It doesn't really matter. What it is you've sent them an email, they click on the email, and they upload a file here. Real simple sort of process. Again, you can drag and drop your file here, but for the purposes of the presentation, I'm just going to go here and get us this one. Okay, and so your logo might be 3 circles. Okay, click upload, and off it goes, uploading that file. Great. So I can go in there, and from here I can add a comment. And I could be posting a comment about that. Me as the external or contributor have now uploaded 3 files. I've started uploading some yesterday and two further today, because the upload link can be reused and had an expiry date into the future. I've added some content there, and then if we go back over here to our collections, and we go and have a look at our upload collection link. So this is me now, the person that created the upload link, so I can see that files are being uploaded. I can look at the information that goes along with this, so you can see when it's been created, an expiry date, some information along with it. All of this information, by the way, can be edited, so you can change this information later on. Recipients, when they last accessed it, and different capabilities. Okay, so that's great. So upload collection link, this is for uploading content into the solution. Now then, the download one, perhaps the simplest way of showing this is if I jump back over into uploads, grab those 4 files from the Great Ocean Road and choose to share them. So over here, the sharing button is how you typically create a collection. So you can see the personal use one, the ones that are shared to other Cumulus users. Notice here that you could add files to an existing collection, which is great, and it's really that theme of being allowing you to manage your collections. Or I'm going to create a collection and send a link to other recipients here. So this is really sending it out to somebody external to the organization. You put in a name, an email address, fill out the form for the email, and then you set up some capabilities. So when the recipients receive this email, they'll be able to do different things with that file. So an example of that, jumping back over here, this one over here. Right, so when I view this one here, you can see that this is just a simple download portal. So I gave these people the ability to download these assets, and they could be somebody external from the organization. So here we are. Back over to collections. This feature is all about the ability to manage them. So I've quickly taken you through those 4 different types of collections, but it's been important to see that at any time you could do things like edit, you could add more content to it, you could duplicate one and reuse it. You've got a whole range of capabilities there. Okay, so moving on to next feature. custom search. Really nice, simple feature to show here. So we can go up here, we can do a standard search, one of the standard features here. But what a custom search is all about is this button here, and the ability to have the team, the technical team, set up some values here. So, we had a big discussion about what we'd show. We decided to show some really simple things. So I just want to see images. Okay, I've got all of my images. So if I go back up here, I could say, okay, now I want to see my videos. Let's go and show that. Right, so they're pre-made searches. Then these searches can be, as complex as you like. We've made some simple stuff there. We've created some more complex stuff like who contributed this file. Maybe you might have one up here that you wanted to see everything that's been uploaded in the last 7 days that's been approved, for example. Or you might want to see things that have been rated 3 stars or higher. So these custom searches are ways at configuring the interface to make content more readily accessible to your user community based upon what their real needs are. Okay, just got another one here. Right, Sebastian was just asking, can upload links be sent out through social media platforms or to multiple people? Yes, to both of those. I just sent the upload link to one person. You can enter multiple people. It gives you a link. You don't need to use the email. You could just put that link into social media and just let people upload through their social media. When they click on the link, they'll open a browser page. These browser pages are smart device savvy. It's one of the best features I'll show later on. So yes to both of those, Sebastian. Great. Okay. Right. Okay. And so custom search, real simple feature, but for a lot of people, this is what allows the system to really take on an extra level of configuration suitable for their particular needs. Okay then. Oh, David's just asking how we can get back to the advanced search panel again. It's this button up here, David. Okay, so you click on this and you come down to this custom search panel there. Okay, great. Okay, and so the next feature here is Social Dam. Great. Okay, let's jump into that carnival image there. And let's go to the preview of it, and I'll show you another feature here that's really great too. Canto in the most recent release have put in a zoom capability here, so you can see that we can zoom quite effectively into an asset. We can move it around. Of course, the asset needs to be large enough and have enough resolution to allow you to do this. We go back out there, but I think if we'd run this top 10 features after that feature had been released, it would have been nominated as one of the top 10 features. Okay, what's Social Dam all about? And Canto really were the people that created this concept, which is great. You've been able to do it in Cumulus in different ways for many years, and Web Client really allows you to do this quite simply. And what it's all got to do about is that you can put in, say, a comment like this. So I've typed in the @ symbol, then Linda, and that's given me a list of different people. If I just go back, so you can see there's a few different people, and just put in Linda's details, grab her. So this is going to send the comment specifically to Linda. Yeah. Okay, so I post that comment. Linda will get a notification that will appear in her dashboard up in the notification screen. She'll also get an email, and she'll be able to click on that email, go to a dashboard, and go straight to this asset here. And you can see examples of this. Here's an example where Brendan put in a comment, and he's not only put in a general comment, he's in fact put one of the tags over here, and he said that this could be too yellow, and he sent it to me. And me as the designer, I've gone into the image and I've fixed this, so I've told him it's now fixed. Okay, you can see over here you can edit or delete any of your own personal comments here, but really what we're doing here is we're creating a thread here. So I could ask Brendan, because I haven't actually heard back from him. Okay, so yeah, I'm using the Cumulus Web Client interface as a communication process, and that's what we call in the social dam. And it's really got the ability of, not only can we create these comments, and for those people who want to know, if you want to add an actual tag, you can do it this way, or it can be like a square, for example, like this, or if you just put the comment up there with the @ symbol in, it's a general one. It's not specific to a region of the image, but because you can address that to other people and respond to that, and it becomes a collaborations form, and then it'll appear up in your notifications. It makes the whole product very much like using a social platform, and that's why we call it a social dam. Okay, and a very important feature of Web Client. Okay then, so great. Now we're at the second last feature, and we're going to have some real fun now. So I've worked out how to get my iPad to display on the screen for the purposes of this presentation. It is the first time I've done this in a presentation, so I really do hope this works out for you okay. I'm just setting up my iPad to do all of this. So, whoops, no, go back here. What I wanted is down here. Right, good. Yep, turn that on, and here we go. Now then, what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to swap around which screen is being shown in the webinar. Okay, so you might have seen some screen updates happening there. Hopefully that's all good. You're now seeing, I'm actually sharing my iPad screen to my computer, so this may look exactly like Web Client we had before, but I'm actually using this for my iPad now, so we can do all of the things that we've just been talking about. I can go to an asset, I can subscribe or not to it there. Turn that one back on. I can go back to the dashboard here. I can go and have a look at my uploads. I can choose some assets like this one here. I can start a workflow. Everything that I've shown you so far, it's all available via your smart device. I'm using an iPad. This is all HTML5 or whatever, so you can use this from your Android device, your smartphone, whatever you like. So that's really fabulous, and it's one of the big requirements for a web portal interface, because you may want to be doing something like, I'll just show you now. So say if we go to upload here, I can go to our camera roll and I can choose maybe one of these images here, and I can upload this straight out of my photos library from within my iPad. It's a photo I took on the iPad. So, like I could be out on the road, I could be taking these photos with an iPhone or an iPad or a Samsung device, or whatever you want, and be sending that out. Now then, a couple of questions immediately popped up with that one there. How did you open the social dam? Okay then, I'll get back to that. Does it link to Active Directory? Okay, and I will get back to those two questions there from Gavin and Rosie. So that's good. Now then, I just need to swap my screen back to the browser over here and then turn this off. Lovely. Okay, so we're back to my browser interface here, and this is the 9th top feature, mobile device friendly. So yes, very friendly. It's a wonderful different interface there. All of that, I could turn the device around. It would have created some problems with how the screen sharing works, but you'll see all of the toolbars will move around, etc. Okay, manage alternates and variants. So Gavin and Rosie, I will get back to you and round up your questions towards the end. Let's just look at these manage alternates and variants. So, okay then, so let's have a look at what a variant is. So I've got variant. Good, lovely, sorry. Okay, got that. Oh, that's why I was in the wrong panel. That's why. Okay, let's go here and let's look at these relationships here. Now then, for our alternates here, now then, right, okay. So what we're talking about here with the variants and the alternates are these relationships here. They're what we call organic relationships. You can relate different files together. You do it over here. Need to have several files selected. I'll show that later on. And I'll show you first the alternates here. So you can see when we go to the relation tabs here, you can see we've got 3 different types: usage, which is say when you've placed an image into an InDesign document; variants, which is say different variations of the same file; or alternates here. So this shows you that for this image of these cheetahs, I've got these 3 other alternates. Right, so they're other images. They are quite different, but they're of the same theme. So if I go over to my uploads, an example of doing that would be my 4 Gradation Road files. So I go over to relate. So this is where I can choose to create a relationship. I can choose what type of relationships. So these are different photographs. I can choose what image I want to be the master one, and I can create that. Okay, so I've now got from this file here, if we go into this file here and look at our alternates, we can see that we've got the 3 alternates. And if I open any one of those alternates up, you can see that it links back to its master alternate. So the master is the main, the hero shot, and then you've got different alternates from that. Now then, a variation. So let's go and look at 4 tree. Am I going to be able to find? Here we go. Lovely. Great. So this tree over here, we've got some relationships here, and you can see that we've got 1 variant. And this, when we go and look at the variant, we can see that the image is a PSD and we've got a JPEG variant of it. So that it's the same image, it's just in a different format. We could also have, black and white images or downsized images or something like this. But that really shows you the ability to have variants there. Okay, so now that is the last one of the 10 features. Let's get back to some questions over here. Right, so Gavin asked, how did you open up the social DAM? Okay, that's simple. Just getting back to the file over here. What we mean by social DAM is really when we're in the preview. So I've clicked on the image to preview it over here. And when I'm in that preview, I can now leave any of these comments here. Now, we've seen elsewhere, say in say when we start a workflow over here, it's also social. Like we put in a name here, we can address this workflow to a particular person. So we're verging on setting up this workflow to be a social DAM. What we really mean by social DAM is the fact that we can collaborate with other users of the system rather than just having a static interface and maybe having to email somebody some information. We can really collaborate within the interface. The primary example of that is within the preview, but you will see a range of different places within the solution where you can add in, the @ symbol and reference a comment or a workflow to a different person within the organization. Okay, now then, Rosie asked, does it link to Active Directory? Yes, it can. It's a matter of can. Cumulus comes with its own user manager. We can set up the user accounts to be authenticated automatically via Active Directory. You can also get a very sophisticated advanced integration with Active Directory and LDAP, which allows the whole user administration process to be managed out of the AD or LDAP server directly. So you're not doing anything within Cumulus. Okay, now then, we are at the end of the time for the presentations. If anybody's got a last question or so, pop it through now. I will just add a few final notes. If you do go up to our blog and have a look at our most loved features, do please go to the last slides over here. You will see more information that we use to create this blog entry. And as I said at the beginning of the presentation, on the last page, you can now choose to vote on this. So, do have fun, do get yourself engaged here, go along to the blog and go and vote on what you think is the most loved feature of Cumulus Web Client. Okay, and so I can see I haven't got any more questions sent through to me. So thank you very much for attending this morning. I'm going to wrap up now. As said, if you do want to log into the web client demo, just please let myself or DataBasics customer care know, send them an email with your details and we'll get you connected up. Thank you very much.